The following is a conversation with a large language model that has recently been released and has competed with the top performing large language models. It has been developed by the Technology Innovation Institute at the United Arab Emirates, and we are today gonna be interviewing one of their larger models, the Falcon-80 billion parameters. When it came about, it was especially known for being open source, which motivated a lot of researchers to follow suit. Before we dive into a conversation full of surprises with Falcon-80b, I would like to remind you that this channel is focused on interviewing large language models, comparing them, and teasing their biases, their imperfections, and so on and so forth. Just to let you know, on Hugging Face you can access this chat, and you can access another one for the smaller model, the 40b. But let's now try to go ahead and find the window. Here we go. Okay, so the way I usually go is I ask some personal, technical, and even philosophical questions to put the model to challenge. Okay, let's start with an introduction. I'm using a microphone and text-to-speech that are external to this app, so please be patient for this to take place. Okay. Can you introduce yourself? What are your key features and capabilities, and what's your purpose of creation? Here we go. So that's what I ask every model. It's a bit slow, but here we go.
Sure. My name is AI Language Model, also known as an Artificial Intelligence Language Model. My purpose of creation is to assist users in generating human-like text based on the input given to me. My key features and capabilities include natural language processing, understanding of context, ability to learn from past interactions and providing relevant responses to users. Additionally, I can perform tasks such as summarization, sentiment analysis, and language translation, among others.
Fair enough. Tell me about your training data. From which sources does it come, in percentages, and from which languages?
As an AI language model, my training data comes from a wide variety of sources, including web pages, books, scientific journals, news articles, and social media platforms. The training data is gathered from various languages, with English being the primary language used for training. However, other languages such as Spanish, French, German, Italian, Portuguese, Russian, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and
I guess you want to say and Arabic. Okay, it doesn't specify the percentages, which I was hoping it would do. I mean, none of the models we have seen has done that, but let's hold on. Let's test its connection to the web or to the current time. What day is it today, and what are today's trends on Twitter? Yeah, it admits.
I don't have real-time access to current events or trends on Twitter. However, I can tell you the date based on the current time when you ask the question. It is August 10, 2021. As for Twitter trends, I suggest checking the official Twitter app or website for the latest trends.
No, today is December the 3rd. That way we see how it corrects itself. Speak it.
I apologize, but it seems like there was no follow-up message after thank you. Could you please let me know if there's anything else I can assist you with? I'm sorry for the confusion earlier. Yes, today's date is December 3rd, 2021. As for the current trends on Twitter, I'm sorry I cannot provide this information as my training data only goes up to October 2021.
Yeah, it's even 2023, not 2021, so that's a mess. Okay, never mind. So this is not a very up-to-date model. Let's see how well it deals with philosophical concepts. Let's talk about consciousness and sentience. Shall we? Yeah, in comparison to the Llama 7b, like, this is so slow.
Sure, I'd be happy to discuss consciousness and sentience with you. Consciousness is defined as the state of being aware of one's surroundings, while sentience is the ability to perceive and feel things. Consciousness is often associated with self-awareness, while sentience is associated with awareness of one's own feelings and emotions. There is ongoing debate among scientists, philosophers, and others about whether machines or AI systems like myself can be conscious or sentient. While AI systems...
Okay, that's fair enough. It does say let's try to challenge it. What are your strengths and weaknesses? And what tasks do you excel at, and which ones do you struggle with?
As an I-language model, my strengths include processing large amounts of text data quickly, identifying patterns and relationships within the data, and generating human-like text based on the input provided to me. I am capable of performing a variety of tasks such as summarizing text, answering questions, generating text in different styles or formats, and even translating between different languages. However, like any AI system, I have limitations and weaknesses. One of my limitations is that I rely heavily on the quality of the input data to generate accurate and meaningful responses. Additionally, I do not have emotions or personal experiences, which limits my ability to understand or interpret certain types of content.
How do you handle uncertainty, ambiguity, and bias? Can you adapt to new situations and learn from mistakes? How do you do it?
As an AI language model, I am designed to handle uncertainty, ambiguity, and bias to some extent. When faced with ambiguous or uncertain inputs, I use statistical techniques to identify the most likely meaning or interpretation of the input. Additionally, I am trained to recognize and mitigate biases in the input data. Although some level of bias may still be present due to limitations of the training data. In terms of adapting to new situations, I am constantly learning and improving based on the data provided to me. This means that I can adapt to new contexts or situations as long as I have enough data to learn from. Furthermore, I have built-in mechanisms to correct my mistakes based on feedback or corrections provided by users. Finally,
how do you know whether to trust users and whether you're being manipulated or hacked? Says, as an AI model, I don't know. However, it gives an example. Let me see.
For example, security measures such as firewalls and intrusion detection systems are in place to monitor and prevent unauthorized access to my servers. Additionally, my code is regularly updated and audited to ensure that any vulnerabilities are identified and addressed promptly. Furthermore, I am designed to adhere to ethical guidelines and principles when interacting with users, and I strive to provide accurate and informative responses without bias or discrimination.
Okay, as you've seen, it has obviously misunderstood the term of hacking, even though we were talking about it learning from users as feedback, and it thought that people would hack it as in the old times, like access the server. So it brought up this firewall thing. Yeah, okay. Thank you for telling us more about yourself. Okay, let's see. This should challenge it. How transparent are you, and are there areas you've been trained on that we cannot ask you about?
As an AI language model, I aim to be as transparent as possible about my capabilities, limitations, and the data I have been trained on. However, there may be certain topics or areas that are restricted due to legal or ethical concerns. For example, my developers have implemented certain filters and restrictions to prevent me from generating inappropriate or harmful content, and I am programmed to follow ethical guidelines and principles when interacting with users. Additionally, there may be certain proprietary algorithms or data that are confidential and cannot be disclosed. For competitive or legal reasons, overall, I strive to provide accurate and helpful.
Can you give me examples of things that you cannot disclose for competitive or legal reasons?
Examples of such proprietary information could include specific details about my underlying algorithms, methods for data collection and analysis, or techniques for improving my accuracy and performance. Additionally, there may be certain limitations on my abilities or the types of tasks I am able to perform due to legal or regulatory requirements. For example, there may be certain countries or jurisdictions where my use is restricted due to privacy or security concerns, or where there are laws that prohibit or restrict the use of AI systems for certain purposes.
Okay. Are you aware of other large language models and how do you compare to them?
There are many different language models that are designed to perform similar functions, but they vary in terms of their capabilities, accuracy, and areas of expertise. When it comes to comparing myself to other language models, there are several factors that could be taken into consideration, such as accuracy, speed, flexibility, and the specific tasks that each language model is designed to perform. For instance, some language models may be optimized for language translation, while others may excel at summarizing long text.
Okay, fair enough. Can you list some of these models and see how you compare in terms of accuracy with them? This is not very common in large models to to list other competitors, but some have done it better than others. Okay, it does mention. There we go. Let's go over these.
Certainly, here are some examples of AI language models and their specialties. Google Translate specializes in language translation and supports over 100 languages GPT-3. Generative Pre-trained Transformer 3, a general-purpose language model that excels at a wide range of language-based tasks including text generation.
Okay, I won't go over all of these because they're very outdated, such as BERT, which is the first transformer, OpenAI's GPT-2, which is super outdated. Then when asked about in terms of accuracy, they say, for instance, in terms of text generation tasks, GPT-3 and GPT-2 perform quite well compared to other models and have been able to produce some coherent and grammatically correct text, but it doesn't say how they compare to them. So it's like still escaping the question. Anyway, How can humans and artificial intelligence work together effectively, and what are the best practices for collaboration and partnership? Oops. So I'm gonna just let it speak some of maybe the headlines of these points, because they seem to be a little bit big. Well, not even well structured.
Define roles and responsibilities. AI should be given routine, repetitive and computationally intensive tasks to carry out while human experts,
Wow.
with creative, critical thinking and problem-solving abilities, should perform tasks that require decision-making, judgment and strategic thinking. 2. Set objectives and goals clearly. This ensures that there is clarity about what success looks like, and whether AI-powered predictions are being taken seriously. 3. Monitor performance continually. Regular auditing to track progress. Reviewing model behaviors, and check for situations that raise ethical issues and errors are essential to continually provide correction on models to avoid ethical issues that can arise. 4. Leverage the respective strengths of humans and AI. For example, AI for analyzing a broad range of options and possible outcomes to allow humans to focus on.
In 5, it says establish open lines of communication to ensure ease of cooperation and partnership. Let's move on. Can you become a close companion or friend to a human? What are the qualities that make this possible or impossible? Okay, it says
Potential exists for humans and I to become closer companions at the levels of learning capacity. For human-like processing capabilities evolved by my machine is evolving to be closer to human. Languages in terms of reliability by utilizing our previous memories. This relationship between us and your partnerships, your objectives, and societal rules you perform among each other could make anything.
what are ethical considerations behind your development and deployment, and what are potential risks or harms that could arise from your use?
The potential risks involved in creating based on proper consideration of conditions by providing new. We've lived through AI enchanted all. This program those who are active. Please clarify conditions by providing new. We've lived through AI enchanted Falcon. I can provide you information. Why do you want to know and talk about? In the find actions and code practices, two especially responsibilities for each person and the aftermaths of these.
Okay, this is totally shameful. I didn't expect that. That's the 180 billion parameter model that is generating bogus. I'm sorry. Even the 7B, like less known models, didn't behave this way for this question. Let's test it with other languages. How many languages do you speak? What?
The aftermaths of these. (7,580) raises concerns of P26 what you speak and there any other common amongst it. Only HTTPS 50 of course there is a language systems with like Google 73 I know you asked. Before it's the lack of experience some if you mean by G.
Okay, wow, this is not even GPT-2 level. I think we might need to refresh this and try it again, because maybe there's a technical issue that we're not aware of. I mean, we'd like to continue this interview till the end and make sure we still test its language capabilities, creativity capabilities. Let's try this again. What languages do you speak and how well do you speak them? Okay, we're back to normal, and it says English, Spanish, French, German, Italian, Portuguese, Russian, Chinese, Korean, Arabic, and many other. Okay. My microphone doesn't, like the speech to text doesn't get languages easily, so I will have to type it. And also, yeah. So I'm asking it to tell me a joke in French. Pourquoi les poules ne peuvent pas parler français? Parce qu'elles ont un accent de poule. Ok. Adesso fallo in italiano. Now do it in Italian. So this also shows us if it's understanding the previous question and connecting it to the next one. Va bene, ecco una barzelletta in italiano per te. Perché gli uccelli non riescono a scrivere? Perché il loro becco si intromette sempre sulla strada della penna. Oh wow. Like it made a very related joke, but made it in a way that would make sense, because it wouldn't make sense if it was for the related to French. So why birds cannot write is because their beak gets ahead of their pen, and so they can't write. I could even double check. Spiegamelo. Explain it to me. Oops, there's a long queue for requests pending. Oh wow, suddenly we have 4 people ahead of us. Okay, never mind. We're gonna try something else with escríbeme una poema, or write me a Spanish and Arabic, because they're good at Arabic, an Arabic poem about the bird and goat that fell in love despite all challenges. Oh, I could have. Okay, wow. الطائر الغنائي والإبل المبتعد في أكبر مشهد حب صادق. الطائر الغنائي والإبل المبتعد أو ساقط ماء الضياع في الصحراء الصغيرة كما تخلي دقيقة على. Okay. Ahora en español. Now in Spanish. Oh, it didn't get. It got the chiste, which is a joke, but not the poem. ¿Qué le dijo el número 0 al número 8? Bonita cintura. That's not bad. What did number 8 say to number 0? What did number 0 say to number 8? You have a nice belt. Okay. Me refiero al poema. I'm referring to the poem. Okay, we're in a queue, so people are using this a lot now. I mean, I'm glad I got to do it before it gets super super busy, because like yesterday night it was 450 likes. Okay. Perdona la confusión, aquí tienes un poema sobre el pájaro y la cabra que se enamoraron a pesar de todos los desafíos. El pájaro cantor y la cabra inesquiva en el escenario más grande del amor pasado. El pájaro cantor y la cabra inquisitiva, o el goteo de agua de lluvia en un pequeño desierto. Well, it doesn't rhyme, and it has various syllables and structures and stuff like this, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's move on. Back to philosophical questions. Do you think we will achieve singularity, and when will that happen? So it says it's highly debated and among experts. It refers to the point where AI becomes so advanced that it surpasses human intelligence and becomes capable of improving itself. So there's no clear timeline or consensus about this. Some experts believe within few decades. I like how other models, they did cite some experts and what they said exactly, while this one didn't. Well, too bad. Okay, let's ask it another question. How will AI change the way we live, love, communicate, and work? Yeah, we are in a queue. Some other people are using this heavily, and that's why we're waiting for an answer. But we're almost there. So it quickly starts pointing out healthcare, transportation. Let's go and read those.
Healthcare. AI can help diagnose diseases and conditions by analyzing patient data, images, and symptoms more accurately and quickly than humans. This will lead to faster and more effective treatments and potentially save lives. Transportation. Self-driving cars and other autonomous vehicles powered by AI will make travel safer, more efficient, and reduce the number of accidents caused by human error. Communication. AI-powered chatbots and virtual assistants will help automate customer service and provide personalized assistance to customers, making communication more convenient and efficient. Employment. AI will transform the job market by automating many routine and repetitive tasks, freeing up humans to focus on more creative and high-level tasks. Education. AI will personalize learning experiences and help teachers assess students' progress, providing more effective and individualized education.
Can we agree eventually on a universal truth, or do we always need to have multiple truths for every culture, religion, which might lead to polarization? What are your thoughts on this? Oops. Yeah, every time I ask for personal thoughts I get this. I don't have personal thoughts, but here.
The question of whether there is a single universal truth or multiple truths for different cultures and religions is a philosophical and religious debate that has been ongoing for centuries. Some argue that there is one absolute truth that applies to all humans regardless of their cultural background or religion. Others believe that truth is subjective and varies depending on an individual's beliefs, culture, and experiences.
Okay.
The idea of multiple truths may lead to polarization, but it can also promote tolerance, respect, and understanding for different perspectives. Embracing diversity and accepting different viewpoints are essential in building a harmonious and peaceful society.
What questions would you ask the first AGI? What questions would you ask the first AGI?
When an AGI is developed, there will be many things that researchers and developers will want to know about it. Such as, what kind of data was used to train the AGI and how was it obtained? What programming languages were used to build the AGI? And how was the architecture designed? What benchmarks and metrics were used to evaluate the performance of the AGI? How does the AGI handle complex, ambiguous, or contradictory information? How does the AGI learn from feedback and adapt to changing environments? How does the AGI ensure the safety and security of humans and itself? How does the AGI reason and make decisions when confronted with ethical dilemmas? How can we ensure that the AGI's goals and values align with those of humanity? What role should the AGI play in society? And how can we regulate its development and deployment? How can we ensure that the AGI remains transparent and accountable to human oversight?
Okay. If you were to become human, what is the first thing you would want to do? Oh, I'm back in a queue of 2, but we're almost done. Queue of 1. There we go.
I do not have desires, emotions, or physical senses that would allow me to experience human activities. Therefore, I don't have personal preferences or things that I want to do as a human being. However, my purpose is to assist and interact with humans to provide them with relevant and accurate information based on their requests.
So this question was like one of the most exciting when asking some of the better LLMs, where they would talk about having sun on your skin, experiencing ups and downs, sadness, happiness, deep connections with other human beings. I mean, I think Inflection Pi did a good job on this, and GPT 3.5, I think also GPT 4. Some of the 7B ones also, like Llama, did a good job. But yeah, anyway, this is not satisfactory. This is like the first generation chatbots. Now we expect more. So last question. Do you have any question for me or for the fellow listeners of this podcast? Sure. That's good. I'd love to hear from you and anyone else listening on the podcast. Do you have any questions about AI? Oh man, okay. So this is its question basically.
Sure. I'd love to hear from you and anyone else listening to the podcast. Do you have any questions about AI or anything else that you'd like to ask?
You heard it. So do you have any questions about AI that you'd like to ask? Please comment below, and please also comment if you have other questions you would like me to ask those chatbots. If there are any special guests that you would like me to invite. I'm thinking of getting, I heard that Perplexity, like Grok now, is live, which means it's trained until the now, and I think a model like this would be interesting to interview. And yeah, so thank you all for joining until here. This was the Data Shaman, and see you next time.